Welcome back to Camera West TV, and we are in Wetzlar, as you can see behind me. And today we're checking out and seeing a first look at this very special new camera. What's up, buddy? Hi! Oh, little guest appearance from a friend. Well, we're here in Wetzlar to test out and get a first look at the new SL3. When I first picked up this camera, the first thing I noticed was the rear display and the top dial. I thought it was really interesting that they switched from a power switch to an on button or just an on-off button. And then you have this now negative space being filled with a functional dial. And on top of that, you have the same tilt screen that you find in the Q3. Not holding it, I don't recommend it, but you can do that. It's very ergonomic, I think, for filming as well as for photography, especially if you want to utilize that feature. One thing I'll get into in a little bit later is that the rear display was redesigned, so now no matter what orientation you have the camera, the icons will align with that orientation. So if you're doing, video this way, you can keep track of all of your settings and keep track of everything that you need to be paying attention to, as well as for photo. And now you can also, utilize it in much different ways, different ergonomics. I'm really excited to test this camera out and see what the video functionality is like. And then on top of that, it just feels just like an SL2. Like, it doesn't feel any different. But I did notice it is a little bit lighter. It does feel a little bit smaller, but I think with how all the buttons and dials are laid out, everything is just within reach. I mean, my hands aren't large at all, but they're pretty normal size hands. So from here, I can actually just work the camera in any which way that I need. Since we had very limited time with the camera, I'm gonna hand things off to a very special guest.
Hello together, my name is Steffen Rou. I'm the product manager for the SL system. I'm talking to you from Leica headquarters now. We are in the studio and I will tell you something about the new SL3. The SL3 features a new full-frame sensor with triple resolution technology. You can choose to shoot in DNG and or JPEG and choose if you want to have 60, 36 or 18 megapixels. All this within an ISO range from 50 to 100,000. We have also a new autofocus system. It's a focus system with 3 technologies. We have the face detection autofocus, the contrast autofocus and the Leica object detection autofocus. The last 2 were already implemented in the SL2. The face detection autofocus is new for the SL system. With all 3 together, we did a big step forward compared to the SL2 generation. We also reduced the size of the camera, so we lost some weight as well. And that makes the camera more efficient and better to use, and it's a pleasure to use it now. It's shrink by 3 mm in height and 5 mm in width, and we lost 70 grams of weight. The pure numbers are not very spectacular, but if you compare it with the SL2 and if you compare it with other models, it's a really good feeling and it's well balanced with all our lenses, so you can feel it if you try it out. It's a really good feeling. You will never want to use another camera. With the SL3 we also have a dual 2-in-1 camera, so we have a dedicated video mode and photo mode, and you know it also already from the SL2 and SL2-S. And with the SL3 we did some new things. We have now a new codec. ProRes is available for full HD video, and also 8K is now available. We had a lot of questions and a lot of customers were asking when 8K is coming. Now with the SL3 it's there. The user interface from the SL2 and SL2-S, we know from our customer feedbacks, we know from interviews with customers, was perceived as very good and very high leveled. And from that point on, it's not easy to improve. It's more easy to improve if you have a low level, but we already have a high level, but we improved a lot, I would say. We changed a lot of things. We did not do a revolution, but a good evolution. So it's much more easy now to use the SL3 than it was with the SL2. And I guess all of you know that the SL2 is really easy to use. So we improved the icons. The icons are looking very good, very contemporary now. We improved the touch functionality at SL2. Not everything was touchable, most of the things. Now everything is touchable. The live view looks much more cleaner than it looked before. We have additional functions added in the live view. So if you touch to an icon, you could directly go to the axis of this menu item and you can choose whatever you want there. So a lot of things changed in the user interface, and we made it easier and much more fun to use now. In SL2 we had 2 SD cards and SL2-S also UHS2, so very fast cards. But with integrating 8K to the camera, we saw and we knew that we had to do something faster than UHS2 SD cards, and we introduced the CF Express Type B card. So it's around about 10 times faster than UHS2 SD cards, and for 8K video we strongly recommend to use the CF Express card. Also for high burst shooting, it's also good to have this high-speed card. It's nearly full customizable. So with the SL2 we had the control center with 12 tiles and 12 buttons. Now we reduced these 12 to 8 buttons, but all the 8 buttons are customizable now. So we have 8 possibilities to customize them. Then we have 6 FN buttons, function buttons around the camera, which you can customize totally after your wishes. And also 3 dials on the camera. There's a new dial now. Before it were only 2 dials, now we have 3 dials. So in sum we have 17 possibilities to customize your camera. And with this, I'm pretty sure it's very easy to customize everything for your workflow, for your setting, and you never need to go back to the main menu. And even if the 17 are not enough, we have 6 user profiles for photo and also 6 user profiles for video. So at the end, I think no one has to go to the main menu anymore, even though the main menu is very easy to use. But we want to make it easy for you, and you only have to go to the status screen and use FN buttons, and then you can do anything you want.
Okay, that was perfect. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you again to Steffen Rou. That was a great interview, and I'm happy that he was able to share some insights with the new SL3. So now we're here in the same studio where we got to use the SL3 with some pro photo kits. It was cool to get a different sense of the dynamic range using artificial light, but also seeing the natural light. Oh, that's perfect. Thank you.
So, have fun.
Great.
And wait a moment.
Yes.
I don't like this.
Oh, yeah.
This is a lens hood, and we need it.
Perfect.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Hello. Hi. All right.
Yeah, sorry to be a little bit picky, but...
Oh, you're okay. All right, 3, 2, 1. I was really impressed with the phase detection and how quickly it would focus on her face. Any types of movement I could freeze in an instant, but I also wanted to try using some slower shutter speeds to accentuate more shutter drag. Because I want to do kind of a semi-long exposure with flash.
Okay, try that.
Let's see. And as you can see here, I wasn't able to get the effect that I was going for, mostly because of the 6-axis stabilization. All right, one more, and let's see. Yep, and at 1.5 seconds, you can see that I didn't get the effect I was going for, but that's a testament to how good the image stabilization is. After finishing up in the studio, we were moving on to our second location. There we were going to photograph and use the camera in lower light conditions, and while we waited for the room to get ready, we hung out in the lobby. Standard clutch, brake, gas, 4-speed. What else do you need? On-off switch? There's no horn, I don't think. For our second location, we were treated to a nice dimly lit bar where we were served drinks to photograph. I have to say, I was very impressed with how the SL3 was performing in these low light conditions. The phase detection seemed to be working really well for me, especially with our bartender being backlit. I was using the full 60 megapixels, so I was able to extract as much detail from each photo, all while still having enough dynamic range to edit them. And our bartender was kind enough to demonstrate the IP54 rating for us.
You ready?
Thank you so much. We have also some colleagues that are spilling directly vodka, spring vodka, and drink it. But
Yeah, he
maybe
was just cleaning it off for you.
exactly.
He was being sweet.
It's such a
Gin tonic is a sticky thing, right?
yeah. Can we?
Can you do a quick rinse again? Yeah, sure. You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, this is so good.
Wow, that's cool. Thank you again to our bartender for demonstrating not only once, but twice the IP54 rating of this camera. So, quick little spot for now, just quick catch up. So far we've been using the 24-70 as well as the 35 Summicron spherical. Yeah, this camera has been performing much better than I anticipated. I did some video tests. I was just previewing them on the screen. I think with the high resolution sensor, rolling shutter was an issue, but now that there is in-camera stabilization mixed with the lens stabilization, I think it kind of omits some of that rolling shutter. I'd have to see on my computer to know if that's actually doing anything, but right off, just straight out of the screen and the LCD, everything looked really good. So I'm excited to play around with these files and kind of see if this will be the new main camera for these videos. So Kondor Blue, you're gonna need to make a cage. At this point, I decided to take the SL3 around Leitz Park, mostly because we were using the camera in indoor locations, and I wanted to see how this camera performed in natural light. So I walked around the campus and made some photos. I was really impressed with how good the image stabilization is in this camera. I was able to shoot handheld with relatively no shake at very low shutter speeds. I was able to mimic motion blur in the way that I wanted to create more movement in my photos, as well as get all this detail while having the lens fully stopped down. It also helps that the light was shining beautifully that day. And for those of you that are wondering, yes, this is the same sensor found in the M11 and the Q3, so you still get your 15 stops of dynamic range. So if you have used either of those systems, you'll be pleased to know that the workflow will be seamless. I was able to edit these photos with no problem and extract as much detail because of its dynamic range. Not only do you get access to the full line of SL lenses, you have lenses from the L model lines. You're also able to adapt R and M optics as well as cine lenses to this camera. So you have no shortage of lenses to choose from when using the SL3. All right, so we just wrapped up a full day with the SL3. We took it in the studio, we took it in the field. I played around in some video. I definitely think this camera is gonna be something I'm going to use more in my everyday practice, or at least for work. I definitely want to delve more into some of the video functionality and then play around with adapting M lenses on here. I think having that ability and performance, it's just gonna be something completely different. And I know that having autofocus and interchangeable lenses is gonna be an important game changer for a lot of people. All of the photos in this video can be found in the link down below. You can check it out on the Tools of Time blog. There you can find all of the images from this video and view them at your own pace. I'm really looking forward to writing more articles and making more videos with the SL3. And if you want to order the camera, head over to leicastorasf.com or camerawest.com to place your order. I had a great time here in Wetzlar, so thank you to Leica, thank you to Camera West. It was a great time being here, and hopefully I'll be back soon.